Is Vinland getting on?
No clue. Okay, just give me a second just to check if the thing is on, because you know how these things are. There's always going to be hiccups somewhere.
Mm.
I think it's just us guys again, to be fair.
Sorry, just checking. Okay. And we are on. So, hello, my hunters. Welcome to another Soulsborne chat. I am the Old Hunter. I do anime reviews, and currently I'm doing some Reddit readings.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. I'm the Knight of Green, historical and video game martial artist, and also director of Demon Slice, a Demon Souls martial arts and parody series.
I'm Trooper, or Alex. So, yeah.
Could you repeat that? Sorry, you disconnected for a second, Trooper.
Yeah. I do all kinds of stuff. I want to do law. Going on with something new, but I'm Trooper anyway.
Oh. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the first the Souls Roundtable chat of the year, and a lot of things has happened since since our last chat, for better or for worse, depending on how you see things. Wouldn't you agree, guys?
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of bad stuff has happened with the gaming industry.
Oh, yes. Speaking of which, did you hear... guys, do you remember the game Middle-earth Shadow of War and Middle-earth?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Warner Brother Games has secured the patent for the Nemesis system. So that means players like you and me, or, well, not me, game developers, can't use the system now because then they'll have to pay the WB Games warranty. And you know what I say to that? Screw it! That shouldn't be something you should patent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
It hinders creativity as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of my favorite game mechanics of those games, especially when it's like, you remember what I did to you? Like, I burned your face with, like, a flame, and then you're like, oh, I remember, like, my face is brown. I'm like, oh, snap.
Oh, yeah, that was actually my favorite part. Like, I think one of my favorites was when I shamed an orc so many times. I've shamed quite a few orcs, quite a few too many times. Kind of drove them mad.
They just go insane.
Oh, yes, they go... I think one time I broke them so they go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, I don't know if I should laugh at that or should I feel ashamed of myself sometimes.
Or when you, like, cut them apart and, like, kill them, and they come back with, like, stitches and, like, metal pieces, keeping them alive. You're like,
don't get me wrong. I swear, I decapitated more orcs in that game, and then, I swear, I killed one guy 5 times, over and over and over again.
Who keeps bringing these guys back to life?
That is a question I'd like answered as well, considering the fact that I killed one orc 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Trust me, it's no fun.
But the fact that they patent that, so that means no one else can use a system like that. It's kind of sad.
It's kind of sad, because it's an interesting system that I imagine you could do a lot of things with. I can imagine doing quite a few ideas for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
games outside of just Shadow War.
Yeah. I imagine imagine another fantasy game that has the same mechanics. Basically, instead of orcs, it could have been what? Pixies? I don't know. Name. Put insert here. I don't know, but still, it would have been cool.
Yeah, and then story progressions where like people that you wronged or did something nice to, they remembered you. And that affects their relationship or their stats going in the future.
Mm-hmm. Honestly,
it gives you a sense of consequence.
It does. Honestly, there might be some hope to this because, like, remember when Sega patented that silly arrow thing? Like, a long time ago, that big arrow that points up your head to points where you gotta go?
Uh-huh.
Well, Sega patented that somehow, but it managed to make developers to say, how about we just have a map and just have lines that lead the way? So there might be some innovation to this. Who knows? But
I was about to say, you make a Nemesis system that's not the Nemesis system, but it works like it.
Gee, I wonder what we could call that. The revenge system, maybe?
Right?
I don't know. This is kind of...
might rename it.
This kind of reminds me of the time when... remember, who was that guy who tried to copyright the word edge?
How do you copyright a word like that?
I don't know, but there was somehow a guy who copyrighted the word edge, and I'm not joking on that. And...
actually succeeded?
Yep. He actually took so many game companies to court saying that they're infringing on his copyright. In fact, one...
So could he sue Sega for Shadow the Hedgehog? Because it has edge in it?
I don't know. But yeah, in fact, the only thing that broke this camel back was because remember that game Mirror's Edge that EA doesn't know what to do with?
Yeah.
Well, basically, that guy took EA to court, and the guy lost it, so that's why he gave... if I remember correctly, I can't remember his name, but he gave up in the game industry and became a priest.
You know, I mean, to be fair, that's a pretty easy way to make money.
That's true. That's true. The fact is, yeah, that's true.
I'm just here waiting for a PS5 because I keep on being told that, oh, guess what? February is going to be the month in which you can get a PS5. What happened to all that?
Unless the scalpers are going to once again scalp everything, and honestly, that they've made so much money out of it, it almost should be criminal. One scalper made almost £2.3 million. Ugh. Those scalpers are just... Those scalpers are just the worst. And none of them don't regret... Shoe?
They feel like they're Robin Hood. They're like, we can feed our families by scalping. Like, dude, if you bought 100,000 PS5s, I'm pretty sure food's not an issue for you. But
yeah, okay. I highly doubt that. I want to play Demon's Souls, but frankly, it's not easy.
No, to get a PS5. We're talking about the game itself.
I know, I could do that. I'd like to play Demon's Souls. I understand that. I remember when Yahtzee did a review, and you remember, if you don't, do you guys know who Ben Yahtzee Crosher is? Just want to start this off.
Yeah.
Well, he did review on Demon's...
He originally hated it.
Oh, yes, I was going to say that. When he first reviewed Demon's Souls, he hated it. And now, he had to play Dark Souls. Well, he loves the series. But
he discovered how to love the series, which is hilarious.
It was funny that he hated the first game, but now he loves it. Well, then again, he did make the caveat that he explains why Dark Souls is the better one, besides the naming convention. Honestly, I hate the word Demon's Souls. There's 2 S's in it, at the end and the beginning. It always throws me off when you're saying Demon's Souls.
Possessive.
Are you gonna just
possessive?
You could just remove you just could remove the apostrophe and say Demon's Souls, and I think it would mean the same thing.
Shoot, don't even need the S. Just be Demon Souls. Like it could just be like whatever. Like it's but the way it's phrased, it's described as the souls that belong
to the demons, like to the archdemon, the great one.
Yeah.
I know that one. I know, but I think practicality...
It's still horrible.
It's still a horrible name. Dark Souls gets to the number thing. It's the Dark Soul of man. The series that is named after. To the point, it doesn't have any weird possessive words.
There's also speculation about Kingsfield being connected to Demon's Souls as well.
Oh yes, because there's the theory that all the From Software games are connected in one way or another. Mine because of the recurrence of the Moonlight Greatsword, mostly from the fantasy ones, not the Armor Core series.
I don't know. Armor Core still has Moonlight Greatsword and patches, so
I know, Maybe we could just chalk this all up for that From likes to reuse a lot of things in their games. Well, Patches was, though, then again, the Moonlight Greatsword and Patches was conspicuously absent from Sekiro, unless you count the giant sword that the dragon uses as the Moonlight Greatsword, and the...
Yeah, I feel like that's more like the Seven Branch Sword. That's like another mythical weapon. I don't think that necessarily counts, but I mean, I guess it's the only thing.
Well, there was no... I don't think there was any prosthetic use that makes the katana look like the greatsword.
Yeah, nothing like that.
What about the sword in Blasphemous? Because that's blue.
This is blue.
Actually, this makes me wonder. Like, for Elden Ring, okay, there's rumors that it might be coming out soon, and I hope it is, because, my god, it's almost been 2 years since Elden Ring has been announced, and I am dying to see it. One could hope, but I wouldn't, like... I don't know.
Still need the PS5 to play that, if that's going to be coming out anytime soon.
Maybe it'll still be on last gen and be like with the PS5, it'll just have it patched. But still, I'd love to play the game a lot, because Elden Ring, it looks so great. Did you guys see the concept art that was leaked?
Yeah, I would see
it feels like it's Dark Souls again. You know what I mean? It goes back to the medieval roots, and it has that art. The armor looks grotesque, but at the same time beautiful. If you catch my meaning.
I'm just happy that they actually gave a partisan design that's not absolute trash in Elden Ring.
Well, at least you'll have an excuse to do more weapons in Souls.
Oh my god! Look, I'm telling you, if the bosses start doing like backflips and stuff, I'm gonna be like, "Look, I did it for Artorias and the Ring Knights, but like after that, I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'll put my hat down on this."
Not bad, eh? Still, who knows? Maybe Todd Howard. Oh no, wait, who was the Phil? Didn't Phil say that he played a bit of the game?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And Tamar Hussein, I think, as well. I think that's his name.
Well, they said the game's pretty fine, and From has had a pretty good track record so far. So they hopefully will be doing something good.
Yeah, the only dud I think From Software had is they made this one ninja game that had the Moonlight Greatsword.
Ninja Blade.
That was like I think that's what it was, and it was just like on-rail shooter and like bad it was like hilariously bad.
Did you know, actually thinking about it, did you know the spider boss in that game was actually the same boss from Demon's Souls, just with an armor?
What was it? Yeah.
It was just
they have freaking, it's the same model.
Let's talk about reusing assets, right guys?
I mean, the Moonlight Greatsword was there too, and it was literally carbon copy of how it always is. It's like, come on.
Oh, come on, it's a demon.
What if the lore reason why the Moonlight Greatsword keeps on coming back in the games is From Software's too lazy to design a new weapon, so they just copy and pasted its assets?
That could be true. It would be funny if it was true. Yeah, but still, if we're reimagining, it still asks the question though: will Elden Ring be like Souls or Born in terms of combat? Because if or would it be a hybridization like what the Dark Souls 3 was? Ish. That's still the big...
Or if it's like Sekiro. Whew.
Honestly, I don't get it why people hate the combat. The combat was pretty good in Sekiro.
It's not that it was bad or anything. I think like people were thinking maybe if it was like a PvP, because like think about Sekiro combat with PvP lag, how obnoxious that would be.
Trust me, I'm not going to say it. I adapted. I still had that damn muscle memory from playing so many Souls games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always thought dodge, but unfortunately, that doesn't work in Sekiro. The tracking and the iframes are not about dodging. It's about parrying. I don't know I don't know if it was the will of God or might just me being very good at parrying, but I started getting the click of the combat.
Yeah,
it's a rhythm game through and through.
Makes me wonder when I'm going to finish Drakengard 3, I'm going to hate myself even more. Oh, for spoiler warnings, if anybody's going to be wondering why, because Drakengard 3's final boss is literally a rhythm game.
thinking, you know.
Look it up. Trust me, I'm not
Souls
joking.
games.
I think the best comparison I can say it is that think of like if the Soul of Cinder, but instead of you fighting him one-on-one, it was just playing DDR for a good 8 minutes.
Oh,
Trust me, I think Ishin took me at most 5-6 minutes at most if I'm doing good. If I'm being lucky.
He doesn't take that long, really. And especially once he gets to his last stage when he starts lightning spamming. Like, as long as you do, like, lightning reversal on him, or, like... No, once they put in Sakura Dance...
Oh, I always use
Dance,
that. I always do Sakura Dance reversal. I just love how it looks. It does so much damage.
Like, I don't know what FromSoft was thinking. They're like, okay, guys, what's the reward for beating Energanitro? Like, one of the best, if not the best weapon art skills in the game.
Correct.
It can lightning reflect, check. You don't get hurt when you lightning reflect, check. It's a jump attack so you can avoid sweeps, check. There's 3 powerful hits that can absolutely destroy posture, check. You can also do aerial combinations with your prosthetic tools, check. What doesn't it have?
I think the idea was basically it's just a reward for the players who stuck around.
Oh, and then dealt with Honestly, if you ask me, Energanitro is the hardest of the inner fights for no reason.
Are you sure? Because I think Ina Ishin kicks me about. I think Ina Ishin is calling you right now, Knight.
What do you mean calling me? You did not see me do his moveset? I flawlessed him on the fight in the video. Like, I don't. What do you mean he's calling me? He's calling me?
I swear, Ina Ishin is harder than Energanitro.
Look, you just have to run away. So what you do is on the black orb attack, you run away a bit, then run toward him and wail at him while it's like swinging around.
But then the other one is the cross attack where he literally jumps forward faster than I can react. I try running away, but he's somehow.
Stay close and do bait out the pommel to sweep. It's the easiest one to deal with.
I always have trouble with that one.
You just have to be careful with that because like you can just stay close. It's just best to either sidestep it and then jump, or just block and then jump.
I think
if you're concerned about not parrying it.
And the one boss that I swear I'll never master is the Demon of Hatred, and it is the very embodiment of hatred, in my opinion.
So run away. I'm sorry, I treat him like a Dark Souls boss. Just run away and then wait him to bait out like a most telegraphed move and hit him, then run.
Oh, you know, if the thing had actually maybe like a claw weapon, maybe I could tolerate a little bit more, if you know what I mean.
Oh, what does he give you? I don't think he gives you really anything.
No, it's just that in order to beat Inner Owl, which I have not beaten, by the way, I had to beat him in order to get to Inner Owl, which I haven't never fought yet. Because of the Demon of Hatred, I'm too scared to face the one with Owl.
Oh! Well, good news is you just have to see Al for you to be able to fight him in the training mode. Really, just for, like I said, just hit him once, run away, find the moves that you can hit and punish, and then just hit him once or twice, run away. And it might take a bit while, but it's tedious, but you can do it pretty flawlessly.
Tedious.
But Inner Al, though, oh my goodness. I just finished recording his moveset not too long ago. I flawlessed him at least 3 times in a row, but I'm going to tell you, Inner Al is a beautiful fight. One of the things that I love is that they added
Hello?
to us, and he can do the same thing. And it's just, you're like, wait a minute, the Mist Raven's found in Harada Estate. It kind of makes sense that he has it.
It'd be weird if someone like Inshin had the
Also, one thing that's... Oh, it would not make any sense. But no, one thing that I was thinking about that sort of just like kind of makes me wonder, right? In the Shura ending, right? You backstab Al, and then Al goes, Shura. And then you're like, hold up, Dad, wait a minute. You're going to call me a Shura for backstabbing you, yet you backstabbed me when I was listening to you. You burned down your war buddies and drinking pals just so you could become an immortal old like hag. What do you mean I'm the monster? This all happened because of you.
Yeah, that's true. But thankfully, that's not the canon ending. Speaking of which is the canon ending in Sekiro? Is it the one taking the dragon's essence back to China? No, because let's face it, it's China. Or is it just the one where you kill Kuro, or the one where you sacrifice yourself to let Kuro live? Does anybody know which one's the canon one?
Well, look, based on From Software games, whatever one is the most convoluted and complex to get is the one that I think is the canon ending. So the return, I would say.
Kind of like how in Dark Souls 3, it's the ending of the Age of Fire is technically the closest thing we have to a canonical ending.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit sad now.
Sana, you got heard about Ghost of Tsushima's ending. Apparently it's set in the same time as Sekiro.
What?
Yeah,
hold on.
Hang on. I thought Ghost of Tsushima was set during the Mongol invasion of Japan, and Sekiro was set in the Sengoku period during the wartime of Japan.
Yeah, I don't think they would be in the same time period. In Sekiro, everyone's running around with Glocks and stuff.
It would be cool to. I can imagine some fan fictions. Any fan fictions watching this? Go! What? Do a fan fiction crossover between Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro. I know you can do it. Sorry, just had to do that, but still, it would be cool if they were set in the same-ish time zone, but in terms of historical context, they're two-part. Sekiro takes place at least in the 15th century, if my history is correct. Don't quote me on that. But...
See, I mean, no, the only way I could see Ghost of Tsushima being, overlapping is, have you played the Ghost multiplayer? Where, it's the Ghost of Tsushima isn't just him. It's a whole array of historical samurai that resurrect themselves as ghosts temporarily. That would be interesting.
It would be. It would be, but the fact is, yes, that both take place in Japan. Sekiro plays the Hirata estate, while Ghost of Tsushima takes in actual locations and places set during the time.
Yeah, saying that actually, it's that actually, because I saw it brought up in the Souls community with Ghost of Tsushima and also Sekiro. Based on someone said it in the community.
Oh, what did they say?
So I'll just bring it up.
Oh, no problem. What did they say? I'm curious.
About the similarities between Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima as with the time kind of thing.
The thing is, they're both set during the time of war-torn Japan, but they're set in different time.
Wait, who said that?
Can't actually remember who it was. It was on Facebook.
Was it? It couldn't be Souls Circuit.
Groups. Can't actually remember.
Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, wondering if this thing will disconnect at all. So that's why I've been very quiet. I've been looking at the connections. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still in the call. Though it would be interesting, though. I wonder if Sucker Punch would ever think of trying to make a Souls game, because it's been all the rage lately. And no, I don't think Ghost of Tsushima is a Souls-like.
I think they might do well. See, this is the thing, though. I mean, I feel like with the system that they have with Ghost of Tsushima with different stances and counters, I feel like, this is, I'm saying this with all love and respect, but I feel like a Souls game type of combat would be actually a downgrade to what Ghost is offering. And the reason why I say that is because it's okay, you know what? I actually no, I wouldn't say that, because then again, Neo has a similar concept with different stances, and it has more Souls-like inspiration. So actually, no, I think it could work.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Souls-like, Blasphemous has done it as well with the deflecting and the parrying mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible.
Yeah, it's with the hitting motion. Even though
I'm just waiting for more Cell to get a sequel.
I haven't played Mortal Souls, so I won't have any opinions on the game. I've been thinking of playing it, but I feel like my opinion...
It's basically Dark Souls with instead of you have a shield, you harden yourself to become a shield.
I know the combat, and the original game was supposed to be a Souls. Was supposed to be. I can't believe we've moved the past term of Souls clone, Dark Souls clone, because now it's Souls like it's a thing. But again, it's like in those really old days where all first-person shooters were basically called Doom clones. Remember that? Even though I'm not old enough to remember that because I'm only 22, I know the stories. I guess Souls-likes have become officially a thing, and everybody and their grandmothers copying them, except surprisingly Square Enix of all people.
Yeah, it's got its own subgenre.
That's good. It's good in the sense.
Well, I blame Miyazaki for that.
Hey, true. It's true. Miyazaki. It's either for better or worse. He created a new genre and a new style of gameplay that's now pretty popular.
Surprised that no one's stealing Sekiro's idea.
I wonder why. Because Sekiro took quite a few years in development, and the combat is really different. The combat has to be more precise than in Souls. Okay, don't get me wrong. The hitboxes are really good from the most part in the Souls, but with Sekiro, you gotta be a bit more tight.
Very much more so.
Plus, let's see, Activision's done a Souls like with Sekiro. Even though it's got more pedigree than like something like with Star Wars, the Last Jet. What was the game? The EA Star Wars game again, the Souls-like one.
Jedi Fallen Order.
That was
Fallen Order. Yeah.
Sekiro has more pedigree than Fallen Order because it was made by the creators of From. So.
Yeah.
Side-by-side comparison, there's no competition. And when Nioh 2 was announced, I think most people were not very interested. I think when both Sekiro and Nioh were introduced, you gotta admit that more people were interested in Sekiro than Nioh 2, right?
Oh, no, I agree. Because, realistically, I like Nioh. Like, from playing, I feel kind of fatigued with the Neo series. Not because they're bad. Great. It's like, wow, look how what my level. You go to the next difficulty, you just get one shot. Like, well, what's the point of all this? What's the point of all my progress? I didn't achieve. That's just me feeling in Neo.
I can completely and utterly agree with you.
Like Neo.
I never did
with Neo, or just feeling weak all the time in Neo.
Neo, yeah, I feel like. Honestly, with Souls, I don't have that much of an issue because the enemies all have a set standard. Like, it's doable to do it at low levels, but unless you put the time and dedication into it, and leveling does help. But the Neo leveling is a must, and I feel like that just pushes it more to an RPG than action, in my opinion. But hey, that's just me and my own Souls mentality.
And not only that, but when you increase the difficulty, the enemies... But I agree, because especially with Neo, when you put a different difficulty level, some enemies that you commonly know will this is not a mechanic you had when I first fought you. It's kind of bogus sometimes with that.
Yeah, and I wonder if, and I really wish that Team Ninja actually took more inspiration from Dark Souls with actually good level design. I swear I went through...
Yeah, levels are kind of dark.
And ironically, for a series called Dark Souls, there's only one area that's really dark, and we can all agree it's a horrible level. Ooh.
Skeleton dogs and big skeletons.
I swear, when I play the remastered and I have to go to the Tomb of the Giants, my anxiety heightens up to a tenfold. It's like when playing a horror game again.
Shoot, is it just me? But I feel like after Orange State and Smo, Dark Souls 1 just kind of just takes a nosedive and just enjoyment.
It depends, that I can agree. The fact that most levels were rushed, like the demon ruins were completely and utterly messed up because, let's face it, they were rushed to all
Demon
hell.
ruins are dumpster fire. I was going to say Demon Ruins was a dumpster fire. Duke's Archive is literally Crystal Dudes and Crystal Dudes. That's literally like legitimate what you fight when you get to like Duke Archive.
We can all agree that Dark Souls is a flawed masterpiece, as all masterpieces are. They're all flawed in their own way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
was playing it on the Nintendo Switch tonight as well.
I love Dark Souls.
It's still great.
Oh yeah, it's a great classic. It's a great game, and it was a game that defined the series of Souls-likes. Yes, we could say that Demon Souls was the first one to do it, but Dark Souls did it better.
Well,
debatably.
See, I would say Demon Souls did atmosphere better than Dark Souls, but I feel like Dark Souls mechanically is better than, because Demon Souls is just like a what's the word, the black sheep, and it's just kind of crazy. But if you ask me, out of all of the From Software games, the one that I feel came closest to like perfection is Bloodborne.
Oh, I can agree. Hey, why do you think Bloodborne
and Goblins as well?
That would be
that as well.
I make a joke every time. I make a joke sometimes, thinking that maybe. I don't know. Maybe for the next Final Fantasy game, Square Enix will make it a Souls-like, just to basically. But I always think I realize the flaw in that, because Final Fantasy fans don't play Final Fantasy for the combat. Let's face it, the combat's never the best thing in the games. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
They always play it for the story, as how do I put it without being sounding rude, as bland as they are half of the time, because they normally go through a same checklist. It's either about an evil empire encroaching on other territories, or it's just basically restoring the elemental crystals and yada yada yada. Or both at the same time if they're trying to flex their muscles a little bit. Am I wrong?
There's a lot with Final Fantasy. Tons.
I know, but my experiences have somewhat been negative both times when I tried it. I played Final Fantasy X, I never completed it. I played Final Fantasy 15, I was almost to complete it until I said bollocks to this, because I faced an enemy that was level 99 and I was only level 30. So the fact that the fact that actually they threw something like this at me at such a low level immediately removed all enjoyment I had for the game.
Saying that, actually, in the Automata, I think it was like level 8, and I tried to go up against a level 99 optional boss.
Oh, you played Automata Trooper?
Yeah, I've got it up.
Oh,
I used to play it a lot. Yeah.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I found it really interesting. The DLC is good as well.
I found the DLC alright. I did like the little cheeky reference that you basically fight the head of Square Enix and Platinum Games, a very cheeky move on Yoko Taro's part.
Yeah.
Very cheeky. But still, I'm still debating about that whole comparison sometimes, but that's a project I'm putting on hold until further notice. My point is, though, I do wonder, maybe it's because, though playing Nier, if we're moving on to the topic of Nier for a little bit, playing Nier and the way it tells its story, I think emulating Dark Souls a bit too much was more of a detriment than an advantage in a lot of ways. Like, okay, I get it. Nier is... Okay, the two games are diametrically different, but it's the mechanics and the way they do things. For example, Dark Souls is more of a gameplay-driven game, isn't it? Stories in the background, it's not all that... Okay, as much as I love the lore, the story is, let's face it, basic, isn't it? Light the fire, that's it. What surrounds it is...
I was about to say, yeah, no, the story itself, as in just what you experience, yeah, it's pretty basic as crap. But, like, you know, you can always say, well, the lore and, like, the deep inner workings of the world, yeah, that's deep. But, like, from what your character does, It's a pretty basic, like, oh, you do this to, you know, I don't know, save the world or something.
I never do say that basic equals bad. I never say that because I always argue that saying that having a basic starting point is the best way to grow an interesting and complex story. If you have a complex story from the beginning, it's difficult to get creativity. But if you have a basic start off, it grows and you can grow it in any way you want. I'm sorry I'm putting on my writer's hat, but that's how I am sometimes. So I think,
no, you're fine. No, I didn't say it's bad, but I'm just saying, like,
I know, but some people,
because, like, even though we talk about like lore and like deep things, realistically,
that's again. I don't argue, but again, I think the simplistic story gives actually it's its strength. But what I'm saying about Automata, the way it copies something like it copies Souls in a lot of ways. That the story is in the background. And you're left to piece it together. But the thing is, Automata is more story-driven than Souls. So I feel like that's where its detrimental is that it tries to be more... Yeah, it does have item descriptions that in the lore. That's cool and all, but the way it worked for Dark Souls is because that's more on the side content, and your main focus is the gameplay. Yes, there's lores for the bosses and everything else, but you need to actively work the time to basically let's also forget that Dark Souls is 3 games in. Well, for the Nier series, even though it's connected to the Drakengard, the previous Yoko Taro series, they're very loose at times, very loose. So you don't need to play. You don't need to play all the previous Soul games to get understanding. And if you have, it's actually like a good job. It's for a long time investment. We agreed? But the thing is, Drakengard and Nier were originally cult classics. They never did hit to the mainstream like the Souls did. So, well, yes, it's great that Nier Automata broke that and was able to make it into the mainstream. I wonder. It's just the fact that no one has ever played the previous games, and I've only been playing Drakengard 3 because I wanted to see what it was like, and it's not exactly a polished game compared to the series. Not saying that Dark Souls 1 was a polished game, but honestly, it was far polished compared to Drakengard 3, which was technically the first in the series because it's technically the prequel.
Saying that as well, and this Ico as well, which is, well, I'm trying to think, it's a different developer that which influenced the Souls series as well.
Fun fact about that one, I actually saw a Reddit thread that both Hidetaka Miyazaki and Yoko Taro know each other. And the fact is, Miyazaki said that he sees himself as a bigger fan of Team Ico's games than Taro. Then again, I sometimes wonder what would happen if the two meet and decide to make a game, but then I realize those two are diametrically opposed to each other. For one, Yoko Taro, the way Yoko Taro does, we know how Miyazaki does his games. They're all background. They're left to the player to piece it together. There's no, how do I put it? It's more a subjective form of history, correct? Of the Souls history. No, but I guarantee you, and the people would agree with me, that then somewhere in From Software, there's a great big book of Dark Souls lore written somewhere in From Software's somewhere in From Software. Agreed? But the thing is, Yoko is more, how do I put this without sounding like I'm wrong? He's more, how would you put it, Trooper, when you played Automata? He's more in your face, I'd say?
Yeah. It depends which way it is. Like from a lore perspective, what I try to do is when I'm playing a game, I try to see the environment. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like Miyazaki in a way.
I know, but I find the world's blander than compared to Souls. Maybe that's because it's set. 3 is set in a cyberpunk magical-ish world, Drakengard. word I'm going by that. But at the same time, the level designs are very bland and linear compared to the Souls' more open-ended. They're linear, but they're more Metroidvania. And yeah,
also,
Automata is an
you've still
open
got
world
the
game.
challenges as well.
Of course, the
You've
characters.
also still got the challenges in there, Automata. A lot of the platform challenges and the small stuff.
True.
Just tons.
True. But my philosophy is stick to one thing good instead of trying to. Don't get me wrong. The game is very well made. The game is very well polished thanks to Platinum Games. I'm just trying to say is that how do I put this? What I'm trying to say is that it does like 2D combat sections, bullet hell shooters. It also does linear. Can we say Star Fox sort of levels? It's all good and dandy, but it also sacrifices the quality. The bosses, in my opinion, were never. I always think a good boss fight always makes a game, and I found Nier Automata's bosses kind of lackluster at most. The one boss, though, saying that I did enjoy Simone's boss fight. It just reminded me a bit of the dancer, believe it or not. The way how her attacks are timed with her music.
That's one of my favourite bosses.
It's mine too, but
got the smell music.
But that she's the only memorable boss. Adam is basically okay. Eve was meh, and the fact is that they reused the same boss at least 3 other times. 4 if I must be overreaching. You know, the sphere enemy?
I think because there's 25 endings in the game. And there's got many different parts to do of it.
Emil was alright, but I feel like if I played the previous Nier game, it would have impacted me a bit more, but I only studied the game just to be ready. I get it, Easter eggs and fanfares for those who have stick to the series long enough, but we gotta remember that the Nier Drakengard series, the Draken Nier series, is kinda niche and occulty. It's a cult class, isn't the cult classic sort of venture. That's just me, though.
It's a bit like Ico, isn't it, as well? Because Ico is a cult
classic
game as well.
Yeah, but it's, again... Yeah, true, Ico is a cult classic, but most people know what Ico is. If you talk about, hey, do you know what Drakengard is? They go, never heard of it. That's how I see it sometimes.
I know quite a few people I've never heard of Ico, to be fair, until I mentioned From Software. And like, oh, yeah, it's that game.
Yeah, the game that Miyazaki was inspired by.
Yeah.
I did play Shadow of the Colossus. I did enjoy it. Then again, I think...
I hate the horse.
Oh, I
absolutely hate the horse.
I hate the horse too, but I love the bosses. The fact that it's just boss battles kind of makes it more thrilling.
I feel sorry for the outside of like a handful of bosses. I really feel sorry for most of the bosses.
I still feel
like
too.
They're kind of just minding their own business, doing.
They're
just like, oh, look at that thing. It looks like a Rayquaza, and now I got to climb and stab. Oh.
I think there's an argument you're the bad guy.
I feel bad.
Oh,
like a demon baby at the end. So I mean,
though.
Isn't that the same for Demon Souls as well as the Souls games?
True, I think that's the point, but
the playfield better in the bosses.
Well, some of the bosses, I hope, because there are some bosses that I don't feel no pity for.
I don't feel sorry for Pontiff Sullivan, though.
Never.
Pontiff Sullivan being one of them. About you.
I still.
I'm trying to think of. Okay, let me think of a boss that actually outside of Pontiff. I mean, most bosses you do have
Osiris.
Maybe free.
I seem to have technical issues, gentlemen.
Don't really care much for. She's kind of annoying.
How about Osiris?
Because feels killed his baby in front. Oh.
That's true.
Well, you kind of feel bad for him because you think that he killed his baby. That's what I'm thinking.
Then again, you should remember that that was a censored part. You actually hear the squish crash sound when he smashes the thing. They had to censor it because it was too gruesome.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was in that McDonald's videos, bro.
Uh-huh.
Still, actually, if I must move on to a little side subject, there's actually been a series, guys, that I've been happy that I'm never going to review. Oh?
Oh.
Yeah. There's actually one series I'm happy that I'm never going to review. It's called Redo of Healer.
And that is?
Redo of Healer.
What's that about?
A horrible little anime with horrible little characters and horrible little plot. So gruesome, in fact. It's so bad. I can't even explain it on my live stream because I could get problems.
Oh.
Tell you what, if I'm after this live stream, I'll let you guys know. But just for the forewarning, I'm never gonna review that anime on my channel.
Sounds like a good thing. It's that bad.
I have better chance of doing Goblin Slayer, believe it or not, than that series. Goblin Slayer! And that anime caused so many controversy when it first came out. Speaking of which, it's getting a second season. Honestly, I'm kind of happy that it's getting a second season.
Control a lot, to be fair.
Huh? Can you repeat that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Crunchyroll, to be fair, when I was watching Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I was hoping...
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for that to be finished.
Everybody's waiting. I think the manga's finished now.
Finally.
Well, it took 4 years, but hey, it didn't take as long as One Piece.
What's even going on in that show? I don't know what's going on in One Piece
I have not known because I am not going to even try to get into it. It's one of those series. And screw it if I'm going to review that of all things. No way. It's impossible for me to review One Piece. Literally impossible.
There's so many mangas with it and spin-offs.
Not even the manga is going to be difficult. The anime is virtually impenetrable unless you've gotten into the series from the very beginning. FYI, I've not. It's one of those series that I kind of glad that I didn't watch, but at the same time hate myself because now I don't know what the hype hullabaloo is about. And yes, I use a little bit of old British slang. Sometimes I won. Sorry, I'm still looking at my connections. I'm still connected, but I'm just like on my edge of my seat. Can you guys still hear me, by the way? Just making sure that I could still...
Go now.
Yes.
I'll probably see you next time.
Oh, you gotta go? Okay, Trooper. Sorry.
Go.
All right, Night, Trooper.
See you go next.
All right, we can...
Bye.
We could end it here tonight, guys.
Good night.
An early stream.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, anyway, thanks a lot. Before you go, let me just say the goodbye, Trooper, if that's all right. I'll be very quick, I promise. So, thank you so much, my hunters, for joining us for this little live stream, or if you're watching this afterwards, I appreciate it greatly. Links down below to my Twitch, Patreon, and my Twitter account, as well as my Discord.